And there's still not that many of us. We can just quickly introduce ourselves quickly, maybe, ma'am. What do you do? Okay. What do you do? Most important, energy-wise. Just talk about energy.
Because we gave advisory work on sustainability advisory
Okay.
work in relation to
Oh, you're a consultant.
yes.
All right. That's all I need to know. Next.
I'm Ting from CIMB Group Sustainability.
Okay. Next week you're gonna have the green cooler earth.
Yes, on
All right.
Monday on the 11th.
I'll be
yes.
there. Right. Next.
David Low, we are the one with the unique booth upstairs. I'm a publisher, award-winning publisher with my wife here, Rebecca.
Wow. Publishers. Oh, do you use electricity a lot?
Yep.
Tuan.
Yeah, I'm Jafar, Board of Trustee from Yayasan UM.
Okay.
We're looking into reducing or converting to renewable energy.
Okay.
reduce cost.
Okay.
At
All right.
my house, I got 12 kilowatts of solar panel, 10 years ago.
Okay. I'll introduce Marina. She is a consultant. She is anywhere to do with energy efficiency, she's there. Now she's also doing the NEA, National Energy Efficiency Plan 2.0. No need to introduce yourself. Oh, why not? Okay. Next. Cepat-cepat lah. Just a quick. Actually, I wanted to kill some time while everybody comes, but it's good.
Hello,
Yeah.
Fitri from Sandabi Plantation.
Okay, tadi I dengar you punya presentation. Bagus tu. Okay. Yeah.
I'm Cindy, also from Sandabi Plantation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to introduce actually my team, madam.
I'm Jean from JACOP on Sustainability.
Wow, corporate reporting. Okay, I know you are from Australia. You just came here. I had a chat with her. You are originally from Pakistan. So, what do you do actually? Yes.
I just started some research work
Okay.
on transport-related carbon emissions in Malaysia.
All right. And
Hello, I'm Nia, Sustainability Intern from British High Commission.
okay. Anyway, yesterday I was forwarded to me by Datin Sunita with the organizer. She showed the people who are going to participate in this. At that time, the number was 66. So I do believe that there may be more coming lah. Yeah. So anyway, let's just begin because there's going to be another presentation after this. Yeah. But I would like to first introduce my panelists, those people who will sit here and then you ask questions later. Yeah? I think you better introduce yourself juga lah.
Thank you. My name Aidil from TNB Energy Services. We are 100% owned by TNB Tenaga, and we are focusing on doing energy efficiency for commercial and industry players in Malaysia. Okay, thank you.
Hi, afternoon. I'm Sharul from Malaysia Debt Ventures. MDV is actually offshoot of government-owned company. Our principal business is actually looking for financing the tech companies and looking at all the EPC financing projects.
A very good afternoon. I'm Jimmy Pham from TNB Retail Division, and EE is one of our beyond kilowatt-hour solution that we are aggressively promoting to our government and large business group as well as the small medium enterprise as well. So we work together with our subsidiary company, TNBES, to provide the solution to our GLB customer as well as the small medium enterprise in Malaysia. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Madam, would you like to introduce yourself quickly?
Okay, sure. I'm Lim Biling. I'm from BSD Consultancy.
Okay.
Basically, we do green building index.
Okay. All right. Now, this is what the organizers wanted me actually to do as an objective. I do not know who's coming, but the whole idea is that the topic that I'm going to present together with my friends is actually energy efficiency. Yeah, and the idea is for those energy users, if you are building owners, if you are an industrial owner, the idea is to give you a kind of an overall picture of what you can do in order to be energy efficient in your facilities. And that is why we are here. Actually, just to tell you, we have a collaborative understanding between TNB, MDV. Actually, today there's supposed to be SEDA too, but they are so tied up with so many things. Some of them in Sarawak and other events that's going on. So they are not being able to be with us today. But nevertheless, I think I know how to actually represent them too. So let's proceed with our workshop. Yeah. Now, the whole idea is, this graph is just to show and ask ourselves, where are we? Where are we in terms of our energy efficiency status in our organization? And at the bottom, pink color shows that actually if we are doing housekeeping, we have the correct attitude, we do the necessary fine-tuning and so on, we already can save, including our houses, at least 10% of energy. The next level is there something that we can do in terms of improving, in terms of installation, in terms of our fitting, in terms of our technology that we incorporate, and then you go to another level. And then the next level is, the percentage also is not fixed lah. It can be more, it can be less. Yeah. The next level is, of course, if there's anything new, the advancements of technology and management styles, and if you want to build new buildings, new facilities, then maybe you can adopt from the very beginning, all these new aspects of low carbon practices. And finally, of course, at the end is where you say you need to even manage your carbon footprint, need to report your greenhouse gases and so on. And at this level, at least, maybe if you talk about upgrades, we're talking about ESCOs, and that's where I come from. And ESCO is a company that provides energy services in order for you, in short, to provide technical, financial, or capital in doing a retrofit building project on a turnkey basis in order for their clients to be more energy efficient and at the same time reduce their operating costs, and of course, why we are here, contribute to climate change. Yeah. So what do we do? This has been around for some time already. ISO 50001 is the subject that was requested to be touched on in the description of our purpose of being here. Okay. This is just to say quickly why we should save energy. I think everybody knows lah. We reduce our costs, we can actually increase our shareholders' value, achieve attractive rates on return of investment because our cost is lower. We can control the cost of energy waste and so on. Process efficiency improvement, of course, and then we demonstrate that we are a responsible company. We comply with regulation. Of course, we have regulation. We're going to have Act soon in terms of energy efficiency. And finally, hopefully, we become a employer of choice. And energy efficiency in any facilities, you have the no cost, the low cost, and the high cost. No cost means, you just practice. Best practice, switch off your aircon, switch off your lights, do a little repairs if you are an owner, because a lot of factories, they allow their compressors to be leaking, their steam to be leaking. So there are no costs to actually do this. The next one is low cost. Low cost is when you do good maintenance, you do insulation, you invest in good, because a lot of energy is wasted because of problem of leakages. Yeah. And of course, high cost is when you actually do a proper technical retrofit, such as heat recovery, such as cogeneration, fuel switching, and so on. So in general, energy efficiencies can be given into these three categories. So possible energy measures, I mean, this is one way of categorizing them because there's so many. If you go to this exhibition that's going on now in KLCC, there's about 200 exhibits. I think everybody's talking about energy efficiency. Even if you talk about the aircon also, there'll be maybe a few hundred components that says this pipe will be more efficient, this will be more efficient, and so on. But again, every little thing counts. Yeah. So you talk about space conditioning, water heating, building envelopes, control systems. Of course, controls are very important because you need to measure. You need to be able to, once you can measure, then you can manage. If you do not have the data of what you are using, then you cannot manage. And of course, motors play a very important part. The basic thing most people do is lighting. Yeah. Refrigeration, of course, important. Process improvement, very big word. So many things across all the sectors, cement, steel, glass. Everybody has got their own technology to look at. In industries, you are talking about both electricity and thermal. More on thermal on industry, but for commercial, it's more electricity. And of course, we're talking about ventilation and, most important, operation and maintenance. Yeah. So, when we want to find out what can we do in order to look into our own utilization. This slide only says about the 3 different levels of audits. If I want to audit this building, first and foremost, I'll walk in. First time I walk in here, the MC, Adiba, so cold, you'll be listening to me, sneezing a lot. And then when I went to the food, lining up, so cold. And then when I went to sit down with my friend to eat, let's see where the sun is so that we can sit down. Ada sun kan kat bawah tu. So it was with Marina. and when I went back inside, the organizer herself, that in Sutina, was saying, so you may have this building is actually designed to be efficient because the panelist that sat beside me, Sarina Hijaz, her company designed this. This is an efficient building, but the problem is post-occupancy punya management. It becomes, so you design tapi you tak buat pun susah juga. So these very, very little things play a part. So again, that's when you talk about walk-in. I'm talking about walk-in. And then after that, detail audit. Detail audit means you have to do a little bit more measurement lah. And finally, investment grade audit, meaning you say, ini bangunan sudah lama lah. Dia punya aircon sudah 25 tahun. Maybe we can actually do a retrofit, maybe magnetic bearing or whatever. And the return for today's technology can be as high as 50% on just air conditioning system alone. Yeah. So, the important thing that I want to say is you need to measure through audit before you know how much you can. You cannot just ask the question, hey, how much can you save? There was an article that featured me last Sunday Star. He asked the question, hey, how much can you save? That means they don't understand the process. Yeah? Okay lah. To be honest, I don't really want to spend too much time on my presentation because I prefer to talk to you, but it's necessary for me just to say what goes inside an energy audit. Normally, you just have a brief description of what you need to do. You need to actually determine the scope of work. You need to review the factory's processes. You need to, in terms of, if this is a factory, I took this slide actually from a project file that focuses on factory, but it's also applicable to commercial buildings. And of course, energy saving measures. Energy saving measures means in any facility, there's so many things you can do. You can do the lighting for instance building, lighting, air conditioning, and so many other things. But how do you prioritize them? Do you want to do that all together, or depending on how the management wants to approach it lah? Yeah. So this is the model that the bank still are unable to comprehend very well. The EPC model. That is why Encik Sharul is here today. Encik Sharul from MDV. Because they are a government bank, they were involved in a very important component of a project called BSIP, Building Sector Energy Efficiency Energy Efficiency Project, where we need a government bank at least to lead the way lah. Because you ask the bank how to collateralize saving. How do you catch, and if something goes wrong, how to catch the saving and take it away from you? Cannot lah. So until now, the banks are not very aware of how to do this. But I think it's changing, because of all these people like you putting pressure and so on. It's happening. Thank you. So there are two forms of EPCs. One is guaranteed saving. The loan goes to client's balance sheet. What it means is, I'm the expert. I know how to save your energy. I come to you and said, this is how much you can save, 40%. Okay lah. I pay the money to you, you do. Okay, that's straightforward lah. Straightforward deal. The other one is shared saving. The loan goes to ESCO's balance sheet. Apa itu? I'm the person who's doing it, but I take the money from MDV. MDV bagi saya duit. Saya mau buat ini orang lah, dia inefficient lah. Dia bagi saya duit, saya buat. And then, how to get the money back? But it's my money. So that's where the investment grade audit comes, because we have to study the rate of return of the investment. And if, like I say, the returns is very high, 40%, 50%, sometimes 6 months. There are projects only 6 months. You switch from diesel to gas, and it costs 2 million by 6 months. These are true. Cerita Malaysia. That's the MIP experience. So the savings we pay, where is this how it is. Before you have this electricity bill, before electricity bill, and then you do a detailed audit, and then after that you implement an EPC project. EPC means energy performance contracting. Always when I say EPC, it's engineering, procurement, and what the other word? Commissioning or construction. I don't know lah. But EPC in energy efficiency is energy performance contracting. You have to perform in order to get back your money. So when you do audit, you say that this is the baseline. This is what I use, business as usual. Okay, and then after that, you do the implementation, and that's how much you save. That's how much you save. Regardless what lah, 40% ke, 30% ke, 20% ke, But I still have to pay the bank. But the owner also said, if I don't get anything, why should I give it to you? So kena bagi dia juga. So say we have a 30, okay lah, I give you 30% or 20% of the saving. Meanwhile, let me take most of it lah, because I have to pay the bank, I have to pay my employees, I have to pay my experts. So, tapi katakan we have a 3-year contract or 5-year contract or 7-year contract. Kalau kat Japan 9 years pun boleh. After that, the whole saving is the owner punya after 3-4 years. Is that clear or not? Clear? I think that's very important for me to get across. And it's called zero upfront. Tak payah bayar apa-apa. Yeah? So, what does EPC punya, what influence EPC to be viable? Of course, if it is one location, it's very good, rather than many locations. The tariff structure, have you heard of the ICPT? Anybody who do not know the ICPT? That means you are small users. ICPT is imbalance cost pass through, meaning to say if the fuel prices go up, customer, you take it lah. You just take the, and it went up to 20% as of beginning of last year. This year, January to June, up 20%. No, 20%. 20 cents. 20 cents. 20 cents is 50% tau. No joke. So some people, that's why TNT pun jumpa kita, macam mana kita membuat sama-sama. Nanti dia salah kita tau. Kita bukan salah, kita solution provider. So jom kita buat. That is why seriously we've come out to a collaboration with TNB, MDV. We meet every month. How to do, and then net transition came out already. I urge everybody to read the net transition, National Energy Transition Roadmap. It's called NETR. Look where EE is. EE is tier 1. And the intention is to spend 4 billion until next end of 2030. I can only pray that it happens. I hope so. Okay. So where was I? Total. So area also plays a size. The bigger the facilities, the more you can save. The tariff higher, the more you can save. Age of the facilities lagi tua, the more you can save. And when was the last upgrade you did? Because technology always improving. So. I mean, this is especially true for industries lah. Yeah. Okay. I must say what a typical ESCO does. We spoke about audit. Somebody must do the audit. The audit is all about, I mean, it's a very specialist work. And you really need to know how to use instruments in order to measure light, measure the flow of the air conditioning, measure the steam flow, measure all kinds of things. And it requires so many different instruments, and depending on the type of facilities that we are looking at. So that is what you call audit, detailed audit. And then, of course, you want to, the reason is to establish the baseline. Baseline is very important in energy efficiency. What is your business? What is your usual usage? You must know what your baseline, even your house also. What's your baseline? What's your normal usage? Maybe 300, maybe 600, maybe 2000. So that is baseline. Yeah. But if you can reduce from 2000 to 1000, that means you know where you come down from your baseline. Okay, design project in relation. So we have to do it in consultation with the owner, because actually they know the facilities, especially industries. They know better. And we also do the training. We conduct MMV. MMV is the most important thing. In fact, one of the things that maybe I like to share is Bank Negara. They have come up with a facility called Low Carbon Transition Facility, LCTF. How much is it? 2 billion juga. 2 billion juga. And they want the privilege is to MAESCO is can you the monitoring and verification for the banks? Maybe they don't know how to actually feel, because how does the bank know? I mean, they jaga they loan your kereta, they know. They bagi all kinds of facilities, they know, because they know how to manage the risk. But if you want to actually manage energy efficiency risk, you need to know about the equipment. Oh, this technology, okay lah. For sure 50% one. Or this lighting, for sure lah. Last time we used 40, now only 20. And then they got 100,000 lights to use. So they know. They are confident. But again, it takes time for them to come around. So now, every other week, I have meetings with also banks, but I already work with MDB. So they will be my first. That's why they are here. After all, they are our product, yeah. She was together with me doing BSIP. I was in the National Steering Committee. She was the consultant. I'm doing advertising for you lah. Okay. Now I finished on the ESCO side. Yeah. Now my other team members, now SEDA, I told you they cannot come, but the government has actually prepared second round, ECG 2, Energy Audit Conditional Grant 2.0. Why is it 2.0? Because the first round sudah habis. It's for every Malaysia plan. This from the second Malaysia plan, which is 2021 to 2025. Yeah? The whole idea about this grant is, people say, why don't you do energy audit? Because audit is expensive, ma. I don't want to spend that money. But actually, if you ask ESCO, if a true ESCO, they will know how to actually handle whether it's free or not, because they know they can get back the money. But again, just for the purpose of awareness, for the purpose of kickstarting, bagilah. So the government prepared as much as, how much? 86 million. 20 million, I put USD because I also boast this facility overseas, when I do international presentation. See, our government do this, your government don't do, So we have this. So the idea is to attract people to do audit, and when they audit, then they will know what they can achieve in terms of energy saving. Okay, this is, they are not here, but the gist of it is that lah. Yeah, it's over 5 years. Tapi dia kata, as I showed you before, first time eligibility is those who are affected by a regulation. There's only one regulation in energy efficiency today before the ENC Act, which is the Energy Efficiency and Efficient Management of Electrical Energy to Regulation 20. It's called EMIR 2008 December. And anybody with 3 million kilowatt, I'm sorry to see you go, sir. Anybody anybody who uses 3 million kilowatt hour over a period of 6 months is affected by this regulation. Yeah, and there's about 2,000 facilities affected, and you need to have actually a registered energy manager to serve or to do the reporting of the facilities' effort towards improving its energy efficiency. So this is still available, and that's why SEDA is supposed to be here to say, hey, come, take once, I got, okay, and okay, that's just another continuation. Ini nak buat ke? Syarul, just basic apa ni lah, bagilah. Saya dah cakap banyak.
You got any?
Ini je.
Okay. I think.
Ni.
Oh, okay.
Ini dah tak. This one full start lah.
Okay, I think just a bit about center sikit. Oh, sure. Okay. All right, thank you. I think I will start briefly about MDV. So MDV is actually under Ministry of Finance Incorporated. So we have been around since 2002. We have assisting national agenda punya transformation from ICT we go to green, and then with startups and recently with the energy efficiency. So under this part, we have collaborated back then with BSEP and together with MAESCO. We have allocated a fund of 200 million. So for this is specifically for this rollout of energy performance contracting program. So under this EPC financing, if you are registered energy contractors under DST and you have a project that involve a retrofitting or anything to do with the EPC, you are eligible to apply with this allocated 200 million financing facility. So what it entails, basically, the moment you have concluded your energy performance contracting, which includes whatever that Zul mentioned earlier, which establishing the baseline, knowing the saving, the shared saving, tenure and everything. The next step that you need to do is you need to execute. And at the moment of execute, you need to have your fund lah. So some big company, they have the equity, but some may want to leverage. Okay, so when you want to leverage, either you go to banks or you go to the funding institution. At this juncture, I think banks still shy in looking at this EPC. So MDV, as what we always do, we are actually the prime mover of the transition. So we go in, we finance that this something that is not normal within the commercial banking fraternity. We are actually undertaking to finance this EPC project. So how we do that? I think together with government, we allocate 200 million. Government come with one credit guarantee up to 3 million, with which the guarantee fee is around 5%. So this one also will be paid by the government. And then on the other part, we government also manage the risk by reprofile the rate that we're going to charge to the financier, to the applicant. So let's say our rate of offering currently ranges about 8 to 9%, which is similar like normal bank. So you will have a subsidy of 1%. Okay, and since this is a project, our financing will be granted based on your project requirement. If the tenure is up to 8 years, then we try to manage the tenure within the 8 years. Okay. What important thing to note is that we are project financiers. We are not like commercial bank. We will look at your cash flow, we will look at deliverable, and we will look at the some trigger point that is I think to us is essential to make sure the project is successfully implemented. So this will require we have to sit down with you, look at your implementation plan, your team, how you plan to manage, how you want to procure the installation, the equipment to be installed, and then we finance you. We will even structure the facility in such a way that MDV will try not to look into having a hard collateral first. So we normally look at the first viability of the project. So the project should be sufficiently manage the financing and able to pay back one. As a credit support, normally we take the assignment of proceed. Okay, I think most of you are ESCOs, you know, like the proceeds actually from the shared saving. Okay, this is where commercial bank, even my engagement with my commercial bankers friend pun, they say how you actually put the saving as your means of repayment. So I think we pass that and we understand that. So from the saving that you're going to receive, which is your proceeds, we will take a portion of it just to repay our financing. The rest will be sent back to you for your operational maintenance of the project. Okay, so we will structure accordingly with the tenure. And then the repayment, the monthly payment will match with the monthly that you get lah. But most important thing is that the risk has to be allied lah. Means that you have to have a proper macam once you agree with the MNV, we need to make sure that the building owner also agree and understand the MNV. If they have the facility manager, we need to understand that facility manager also know that you are taking over their role in respect to the EPC. Okay. So to date, I think the take-up of that 200 million is still very low. I think the awareness is there, but it's just that your counterparty, especially the MNCs and the company, they know they need to do something with regard to the energy efficiency, but they just don't know how to do it yet. And in some of our engagement, even the finance also have problem in allocating the payment. Up to a very, very little thing as putting a coding to the shared saving. We accounted that. So I think that this is a good time. I think I would say this is an opportunity spot for you. Of course, there will be a lot of awareness. There will be a lot of education that we need to say to our counterparty. Let's work together in making this something that could happen, because the potential is there. It's like it's the easiest cherry picking because it's just by converting or making it efficiency, there's a lot of GHG that we can actually generate. Okay, so on our part, we are working closely together. If you have anything, you can just email me. I think we have the team, we have the access. I can just give you a card also. We are not even looking at the point of you are already getting the contract. Let's say you are looking at, say you would like to have some session to your multiple parties or counterparties that need some understanding. We can even arrange for that also. Because this is, I think, we have the opportunity of making this part of the successful NATO implementation. So let's do it lah. So I think in how it will be benefited will be similar like normal financing. Let's put it that way. But it's just the way we craft the structure to accommodate your implementation plan. I think is very important, because bank normally they just give you a term loan, provided you have the track record, you have been in the market for quite some time. Then they look at the collateral. On our part, it's just assignment of proceeds. A certain condition that require, in case if anything happen, we have the right to actually look at your equipment and cover it back. And then credit support. If you are shareholder of the company, perhaps a personal guarantee, and you are subsidiary of other corporate, then a corporate guarantee. And case in point that I think you should understand, when it comes to credit support, some people say, if the project is good, why do I need to give you guarantee? I'm throwing the same question back to you. If you are comfortable, I don't think you mind putting a guarantee, because you know it won't be called anyway because the project is viable. Betul tak? So I think it just I'm giving the institution is giving you fund, you give equipment to make it happen. So it's just like it takes two to tango lah in a way. Alright? So I think that's a very sweet. If anything, you can just approach me afterwards. Alright?
Thank you, Cik Sharul. So anyway, Jimmy, you want to do something? The EE slide?
Yes.
Okay, 5 minutes boleh? Huh? Just a quick one, because I can't wait for the Q&A.
Alright, thank you, Haji Zul. My name is Aidil. So I am from TNB Energy Services Sdn Bhd. Like I mentioned earlier, it's 100% owned by TNB. Actually, it's a bit irony. Main business of TNB, we are selling electricity to industry and commercial clients. The more you consume, we are get the more revenue. But the thing is that now we are looking at the ESG and also the net zero emission. So that's where that we as a subsidiary, we are helping and engage with commercials and industrial clients to look at your energy consumptions and how we want to reduce your consumptions. So I think just skip to the a bit of our history. I think this is a bit commercial lah. I just want to, who are we? TNB Energy Services. Maybe you do not know before this. TNB has a subsidiary called TNB Energy Services Sdn Bhd, whereby our focus area is on RE, renewable energy. We were the one who the first one doing for solar hybrid system, all the mini hydro in Malaysia, and now we have transformed and diversified our company to focus more on the after kilowatt hour in terms of energy efficiency. And if you dive into a little bit on technical, if let's say your factory having a power quality issue, we are also the subsidiary who can solve the problem of power quality in industry client. Okay?
Yeah, because you're a member of my school.
Correct. Thanks, Haji. So we are TNB Energy Services. We are part of MAESCO associations. So that's where that we are here to promote energy efficiency program, as well as to help the industry. I think the objective is we want to help the industry to lower down your consumption. So this is a bit illustrations of how that nowadays people doing for their premise. We have rooftop solar. I think you guys are very familiar with. We have EV chargers, and at the left is energy efficiency and also energy management system. These both can work concurrent. So when you have your initiative of doing energy efficiency, you reduce your consumptions, you need to know how much that you have reduced. So that's where that energy management systems come in. So in TNB Energy Services, we provide those services for our clients. And I think Haji Zul mentioned earlier that it is capex-less model. TNB, we can do the upfront capex for our client, and it will be on the shared percentage of saving through energy performance contract, EPC. Okay, so this is typical industry nowadays doing, we have energy efficiency and also we have energy management system. And then after you want to go more on reducing your electricity, you can go with green energy generation on rooftop solar. And now people are looking more towards EV, electric vehicles, so you can install the EV chargers as well. Okay, I think we can skip this slide. It has been briefed by Haji Zul. This is some of actual sample case that we have done, saving about 25%, 15%. We retrofit the LED lightings, and then some of the next slide. Yeah, this is on LED savings. It can goes up to 70%. So if you notice, most of our energy consumptions, the big tickets coming from cooling requirement. So if you can touch on your cooling system, you know how much that you actual consumption requirement. We can tailor towards that requirement. Then you can lower down your cooling system productions. That way that we can get the saving. Okay. This is some of the sample. Chiller, we did some chiller optimization system at our office in Jalan Timur. We do some sensors has been installed at chiller to minimize the consumptions. So we got about 21% saving. Okay. We did some chiller optimization system as well at Penang International Airports. It's about 13% of saving. And LED of 41% saving. Okay, next slide. I think we can skip this. Skip. Okay. This is the whole process that we are going with our clients. If you are interested to proceed, you can engage any ESCO in MAESCO associations. We are part of the MAESCO. So at TNB Energy Services, as an ESCO company, we can do the walkthrough audit first. This is the first process. We can come to your premise, we do a walkthrough audit. I think Encik Zul mentioned that you walk and then you can see what is the lighting condition and how is the requirements of your premise, the real requirement. So after that, maybe you want to go serious about it, then we can have a letter of agreement or a letter of intent to be entered into TNB and client. And then we can do the detailed audit. So this detailed audit is very important to identify your real baseline of consumption. So this will be the BAU. If business as usual, how much your electricity consumption will be. This is your reference. So when we propose energy saving measures, so we will compare again this baseline. So the reductions of electricity will be converted into commercial, then we share the percentage of saving by percentage. So let's say ESCO company like us, we take about 90% and the client 10%. It's up to negotiations between both parties. I think that's all about our process. If you are interested to know in details, you can contact me, myself. I'm the GM Business Development for TNB, ES, Energy Services. And also you can come to MAESCO. MAESCO has a pool of ESCO company as well. And we are working together because as a TNB perspective, we want to help in the industry to lower down your consumptions. Okay, thank you very much.
So I assume now that we should all go to the stage, all speakers, so that you can ask us questions. Yeah? How many minutes have you got? Half an hour? 1 hour? No? Ayo. No, we started late. Come, please, gentlemen. I like to be a bit informal if you don't mind. This is the session that I've been waiting for. To listen from you and find out whether we successfully explain ourselves well, and hopefully when you go out of here, you are clear to do whatever that you want to do, whichever profession or whatever facilities that you want to manage.
May
please.
I ask a question?
Please, thank you.
Referring to TMB, just now you were showing some slides on the savings. I would like to know generally, on average, if the company is to actually collaborate with you or engage you, what is the average return that they are going to get? When will they reap what they have invested? The average return.
Again, thank you for the questions. The simple payback return, I think, it depends on the energy saving measures that we will be doing. For example, LED, the capex is not really high. LED lighting, it can go 1 to 3 years simple payback. But if you go for a detail like chiller, the cooling system, the capex is quite high, so the payback is a bit longer. It can go to 3 to 4 years of the return. So it depends on the energy saving measures that being taken. It will impact your payback period time.
On the average, I think on both sides, contract about 5 years to 7 years is the most common.
5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the payback is one thing, but to share it out, you need a longer time. So you must remember, they want to make profit. It's a business.
Understand.
It's just that the attraction is you don't have to put 1 cent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Zero capex.
The other question is, we do have a lot of clients, because I come from consulting firm, that they are energy solution system. So what is the difference between yourself and them? Typically, it's the same. You do the same thing, except that you work with, you are collaborating with MDB or what?
Just now I attempted to explain what an ESCO is. Yeah, there are people out there who just sell black box and paint and see that they can save 40-50%. So a true ESCO, like I tried to defend just now, is a company that provides technical as well as capital package to their client in order to come up with a turnkey solution. Turnkey solution meaning to say it is not conventional. You're not just putting the technology in, but also the capital. That's why MDV is here also, because we provide this kind of holistic.
Encik Zul is integrating all the stakeholders for energy efficiency program in Malaysia. As far as we concern TNB, we also approaching our clients separately as well, and also together with MAESCO, to accelerate this energy efficiency program in Malaysia. So if you notice, there's a lot of company outside that offering the energy solutions, that is all the same. There's an energy solution. It will touch on the energy efficiency, and some of the energy solution will also provide you some advice in terms of how you want to tackle in terms of ESG and everything. So we are doing that as well. But there are also another company outside is looking to accelerate that as well to clients, and some of them are working with us as well. Yeah.
Anyway, just to highlight something to you, Malaysia has got, in terms of numbers of ESCOs registered with the government, probably the highest. But why? Because the government if you want to register an ESCO, you must register with Energy Commission. But the reason why they register with Energy Commission is purely because of the EACG grant audit. That is where the definition of ESCO differs between Energy Commission and MAESCO. MAESCO, you must be holistic. You must have the equipment. Must have the finances. You must have the project knowledge. You must have the capital and so on. But I think, well, just to give numbers, 300 over ESCOs registered with ST, MAESCO only 60 something. But you know, it's like TNB, GLCs, through consultancies, as well as trainers and so on. We have an array of members, which also includes energy efficient manufacturers too, but they become associates. And we don't promote any particular product. No? So that is...
it is a one-stop center if you want to search for which ESCO is the best. For example, you go to MAESCO website and you can look at the list of the name of the company, Energy Services Company. So we are one of the list. So that's where that we want to contribute to the industry. It's not only TNB doing this. I believe you can engage anyone. But let's say if you want to do the energy saving measures, let's say, you also can come to TNBES like us. We will provide the EPC contract to you with CapEx model, CapEx-less model. Maybe the ESCO can do the audit, but on the energy saving measures, we can step in to support, to do the contract with the clients.
Hi, good afternoon, AR and esteemed speakers. I'm not an engineer, but I know of a firm who provides services, audit his clients' energy consumption. So there's a challenge here. So that to enable his clients take a bit more balanced approach of things. Apparently, according to this friend of mine, his customers mostly do not prioritize EE. They always go for RE. So how to encourage clients? We all know, even as a layman, EE is more lasting. I mean, it has a more permanent value. So how to encourage the customers to buy into EE?
That's why we are here lah, you know. We are trying to encourage you all to EE. You know why? You know, whenever, you know how long it takes to do the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act or not? 12 years journey. Why? Because it's very hard to understand. The word that is used by one of the heads of the ministry once said, it is less sexy, you know. Because it takes so many small measures in order to get the numbers that we want. Whereas if you do about power plant or RE ke apa, 100 megawatt, and then the bank also easy to understand, so it becomes faster. So the problem is the ecosystem of EE is not complete. The banks are not there at that time. That's why Cik Charu is working very hard with MAESCO to make it. And the mechanism, sometimes from experience, EE projects not so easy to promote. You know why? Because every time we want to do for a factory, they say NDA. You cannot tell anybody. You cannot, you know, because it's secret. They want to keep it to themselves so that they are more competitive. So there are many issues on EE. Why? And EE, the technology is across everything. So many. Aircon alone, you're talking about hundreds of technologies lah, let alone lighting, let alone all the sectors, you know. Now, the technology of EE is such that even a lift is clever enough to say, wow, that office at 10th floor comes down for a break on 3rd floor, I wait there lah at 10th floor. Come, so you don't have to, so it stops. You know. I mean, it's happening now. So, AI technology, cloud-based technology, it is digitalization and so on. It is across the base. Technology, no issue with EE. Implementation, big issue. That is why I think the government is trying to be very aggressive in EE when you talk about the netter. You are looking into an expectation of 4 billion allocation over until 2030. That's 6 years time. You divide by 6, how much per year? Oh, quick. Wow, almost 700, man. I mean, I pray it happens.
Okay, thank you, Zulkifli. Maybe I see opinion from the other gentleman in specs. A different point of view, maybe.
No, actually, I do agree with what Zul idea is. I think this is what we have discussed before. I think the most important thing is currently in the market, most of the consumer, or I would say the C&I customer, we call it commercial industry customer, they would like to have the quick saving, so to speak. So when you say quick saving, people always start with something that is much more big number in terms of saving. Okay, for example, like 70% on saving. So people always go for the solar PV on the rooftop itself. So people will quickly see the saving after you install, after you commission your solar PV. And in fact, if you look at the energy hierarchy, actually the EE actually is the lowest level where actually people should start first, because that is trying to change your habit of how to do the energy conservation, okay, the understanding, okay, the habit of using the electrical appliances and all these things in a much better way, I would say. And then only then when you go to the top, that is where the RE come to picture. So that is the ideal case. But again, when people want to go for the shortcut, so that is where people want to see the immediate saving, so people will always go for the RE perspective. Thank you.
So how to encourage them? We all know the facts.
the encourage, I think that is where, in fact, actually we are looking forward to the ECA come into picture. I think once the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, which is going to be tabled in the Parliament somewhere around October, and when it comes to enforcement, I will foresee that will be a much more bigger impact that Ministry would like to enforce, especially on the RIM. I think for those who are RIM registered with the ST, and then it will break into the 2-tier. Of course, the details will be announced, I think, by the minister, okay, not by us here. So once that enforcement comes to the picture, I would say that the Energy Efficiency Act, which will really rock the whole industry, and also by enforcing the requirement of the renewable, the REM, the Registered Electrical Energy Manager, or after that they call it the Energy Manager itself.
So you've got technology, you've got finance, you've got the act, you've got the maybe incentives from the government, and of course not to mention programs. It's a combination of so many things that will promote this EE industry to a mature level.
Hello, I got one more question. So when it comes to the EPC contracting model, we have 2 types of model. One is for shared savings. So this one, it goes to the ESCO's balance sheet. And the other one is where it goes to the client's balance sheet. So it mentions that it's performance guaranteed. So when it goes to the client's balance sheet, how is it performance guaranteed?
I feel in explaining to you, to everybody, what I forgot or did not mention is, once it goes to the balance sheet, so any shortfall, if you say I want to save 100, but if it is 120 that you save, then you have saved. But it becomes 80, the guarantee is you have to come up with a shortfall. You have you are paying the shortfall of which you have failed to do. That means you're not a good ESCO. That's the point. But normally, an ESCO, how they mitigate their guarantees, actually, it's all back to back. The banks, they will say, hey, who's your supplier? I want to see his guarantee to you lah. That's how they will protect themselves also. So the supplier said, you go to the exhibition today if you can, last day. Everybody will say, I'll guarantee. All the manufacturers from China, from Korea, from everywhere, they said our products are fail safe. So if you are willing to guarantee, then the EXCOs themselves are comforted, and when the EXCOs are comforted, the banks are comforted. And it comes with a very, and you must see the track record of the companies. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Good afternoon. Question for Haji Zul. Let's say we're interested to do an energy audit. So you mentioned there are 300 ESCOs in registered ST and 60 with MAESCO. But when we issue the tender, what are your tips for choosing the best ESCO for the job?
Well, that's the toughest question that anybody has asked me. Because I'm at loggerhead with ST where registration is concerned. Yeah? And to be honest with you, more than half of them don't do anymore anyway, So they may be registered, but they're not active. So I can only answer you if you ask from MAESCO punya perspective. In fact, the NETA also, if you see during the dialogues and the stakeholders meeting, they use MAESCO's numbers in terms of ESCOs rather than ST punya. So I do not know how they take it, but I want to work with everybody. So yeah. Yeah. So you see, how we started collaborating is because TNB, I mean, in all honesty TNB approached MAESCO and said, hey, let's collaborate because of the ICPT and so on. I said, hey, that's a great idea, why not? Then we ask the question, if we get the client, which company should do first? I mean, the same question. Then I should be me what? Okay lah. Me and my vice president said, yeah, we won't take any project conflict of interest we must support our members. But then again, it's the NB. So, why they are over here is because I give them the first right of refusal, because they are GLC, and they are also very strong balance sheets. And if you talk about NETA, they want to actually create a super ESCO or super platform. I do not know. It could be TNB for all we know. But we need a champion. We need somebody with drive. If TNB don't, I will move forward still. But again, it's important. You must know why we need to do EE first. And I spoke to this even in our on the first day, 5th. I said EE, because we are still using a lot of coal, we're still using a lot of gas, and to convert coal to electricity is 70% losses already. And then you have transmission losses, you have distribution losses, and then after that we use inefficient equipment after the meter. And what that means is if you save 1 unit down there, you may save maybe 30 units up there. I mean, it's all mathematical. So,
Zul,
EE should be the first.
Zul, could I just add on to that, just very quickly to help that in answering that question? It comes down to what your own business is. If you're a commercial building and you look for ESCOs who are bidding, you need to look at the project sheet. Okay, look at the project sheet and the technical experts that they've put in there. And so there are a lot of certified competencies in building energy efficiency now, right? There are different kinds of certified professionals. So the MGBC people also have a list of the certified professionals, so you can look up their names. If you're a factory and you have a lot of different complex equipment, thermals, chillers, etc., please don't get somebody who's only done work in buildings and who only understands buildings. And so you need to narrow it down that way through the experts that they have put in that project proposal, as well as their project sheet. So that would be, I think, a lot more practical for them.
Marina, thank you, Marina. I told you you should sit down here, but you don't want. Yeah. Anyway, you know, like I say, during the MIP project where we were doing energy efficiency in industries, every industry got their own experts. Basically, you must understand, it's thermal and electrical. Thermal has got their own expertise. Electrical has got their own expertise. And then within the electrical also so many. So MAESCO's job is try to get all these experts together and collaborate. So even 10 BES cannot do everything by themselves, and they need thermal expertise too. So the pool, the melting pool is us. Yeah, I think we have to go very soon. I think. Yeah, everybody coming already. Yeah, Ayo, so short lah. Really lah, I'm enjoying my talk with everybody here. So anyway, thank you so much for choosing this workshop. I really appreciate your presence, and I hope that we can, please look up into MAESCO's website. If there's anything we can do, let's do it together, please, because we need the support of everybody. So, thank you so much again. Bye-bye.